Hola a todos, bienvenidos a un nuevo video para el canal. Aquí su brother, su pana, su cuate Danker Games X8 en un nuevo video para el canal. Y hoy día toca la legendaria final del Dankerverse Impacto. He estado haciendo muchas misiones de mundo, pero hoy toca la más importante, la misión de la señorita Furina. Así que vamos a ver qué ocurre en esta última legendaria para culminar con estas misiones y luego darle paso a meramente las citas, ¿no? Así que vamos a ver qué pasa en esta legendaria. La de Nebulé fue bastante decepcionante, considerando que esperaba alguna pelea épica con Nebulé de mi equipo o algo como pasó en la misión final de Fontaine, ¿no? Pero fue bastante decepcionante. Esperamos que esta cierre con broche de oro las legendarias que hay hasta el momento y darle paso a las citas. Así que bueno, vamos a empezar con esto.
You know we're worth it. For quality work and speedy results, choose Pine.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open.
Don't worry about that. We were...
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their... But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties.
That does sound like a tricky situation.
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Trap? Even if we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
Sí, pero conocemos a alguien que sí.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Vayamos a hablar con él.
Susan approves. Let's go.
Muy bien, veamos qué quiere.
Hello there. Are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two. Are you really willing to act in my music?
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already.
En todos los lugares, campanita.
But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
¿No puedes cubrir los gastos?
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts. All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe. One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
Catherine mencionó que una de tus artistas no podría participar.
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood, and unfortunately, it's flared up again recently. The show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Got
Okay.
it. We have a clearer picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas. What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor, and I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
El dinero no es lo más importante.
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the more, that we should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
Sí, pensé exactamente lo mismo. Es una buena rival, tiene una gran energía y serviría para esto.
She should have all the free time in the world right now. She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous.
Furina.
Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner. She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur
Pero
troupe
quieren
like
que la obra
ours.
siga adelante, ¿no? Déjenmelo todo a mí.
Well, yes. Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one. Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested.
No point in stressing about that. We'll only know if we ask her. And besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to be all high and mighty anymore.
Vamos, hace mucho que no la vemos. Vamos a ver cómo está.
Thank you for your help. I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news. Good luck.
Muchas gracias. Quédate aquí y no te muevas.
Wait, where does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
¿En serio?
When did
Muchas
you get
gracias.
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, now that we've got the address, we'll go find Furina. Back in...
¡Let's go! Vamos a ver a la waifu número 2 del canal. La número 1 es esta mamacita que están viendo. El puesto de waifu number 1 a esta no se la quita nadie. Así que Furina está cerquita, pero le falta. Ok, a lo que nos trae. Vamos a tirar una estatua de los 7, que creo que está cerquita. Y ya, ¿no? A ver, estamos bien, ¿no? Pregunto dirección por Furina. Creo que tengo que bajar, ¿no? A tomar por culo. Vamos a planear. Ahí está. Activa planeador. Planeador para abajo.
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with this place. It's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Mermonia.
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Okay, when did popping on a thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food, but now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
¿No te cansas?
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
Es porque ahora tienes que cocinar tú misma, ¿verdad?
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity! It's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace. Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way.
No venimos a eso.
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad!
Ella solo se preocupaba por ti.
Yeah, exactly! What the traveler said! Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
En realidad venimos por otro asunto.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
Si tú no puedes, nadie puede. Eso es sencillo.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now. So tell me, what specifically... I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well-versed in all the various performing arts. But given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
No.
Come! It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage. Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Entiendo.
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary, so I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare.
Espera, tengo una idea.
Do you know any other actors who might be interested in the role?
Nope.
Short and to the point. Okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me. Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for
No
help.
deberías pensar lo peor de la gente. Hay gente que vale la pena.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Oh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who... Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be
Pensaremos
so
en un plan B.
disappointed.
Descuida.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too.
Así que aquí vive ahora en la casa. Ah, es bastante grande igual para ser...
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision.
Exacto.
Maybe that's a...
Vamos a ver cómo le va al otro.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now?
And that gives you the right to make a decision.
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now?
Sorry, I was just dealing with the...
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but
I see. Well, you see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to...
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Solo para... Imagínate si hubiéramos convencido para que lo hiciera.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so
Only joking, calm down. So, despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brain.
Look, there's no point arguing. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up, so, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Espera un momento.
Sure.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
¿En serio?
All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me.
Bien, bien, bien.
Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned. That when you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position, and all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it... I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Entonces, ¿por qué no viniste directamente?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions.
¡Ay, lo
don't you?
siento!
I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I don't...
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder, as well as...
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still...
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life. People loved our performances back then. We seemed...
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, none of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing... It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now.
Oh.
Qué triste.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings, who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is...
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing. I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member.
Justo lo que yo había pensado.
But only if you feel this is something that would
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. What about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
Se derraman y fluyen como el agua.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Huh. Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action.
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Está bien porque eres tú.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please.
Muy bien. Vamos, mami, llévanos. Ahí está la weá. Podía TP, ¿no? Nah, pero tampoco está tan lejos. Igual me pereza, así que te pide. En el capítulo de ayer puteé porque no usaba los TP, así que ahora lo voy a usar como tiene que ser. Vamos corriendo. Uy, no te caigas, por favor. Nice. Eso, bien hecho. Buena chica. Oh, mami, sigue corriendo. ¿Para dónde ahora? Adentro, ¿no? Casi la cago. Casi la cago. Casi la cago, carajo. No. Mal ahí, ¿eh? Mal ahí, ¿eh? No lo puedo cagar. A ver. Ah, mira, es como un violín.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Encontrar una actriz no era su único problema, ¿verdad?
Yeah. We've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form. She longed to live just like any other human. And sure, but one day, her true identity...
So far, so good. A classic tale.
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But...
we still haven't decided between a happy ending...
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
yeah, like they... but Then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from... The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but
Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, stop. You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not...
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson?
¿Estás bien?
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Eso creo que era donde estaba Espina de Rasula, ¿no? Si no me equivoco. Creo que era para allá. Que es donde estaba la nave, ¿no? Creo que es ahí. A ver, según el control está... Ajá, acá, ¿no? ¿Viste? Era donde estaba Nadia. Me acordaba bien. Ok, vamos a seguir. Según esto. Es acá. ¡Carajo! ¡No! ¡No!
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay?
Okay then.
So, as expected.
The ending is one of the most important. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too. I was wondering if we might run into her. So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like you could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good... But for now, at least, I think I I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while.
It's okay. These things take time.
Puta, sale acá, rubio
Brings
de
me to why
mierda.
I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and to avoid upsetting the peace. I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but...
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Sí, lo haré. Gracias. Gracias, Navia. Cuídate.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there.
Claro.
I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with. So maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Y eso es lo que somos. Ay, de
I'm
random.
so grateful that Miss Nafia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her.
Ahora sí. Random culeados. Siempre como que los muestran como que son los más importantes. Son unos random culeados que de un espadazo de los piteáis, weón. Déjate joder las pelotas, Oyovers.
It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Los pinches NPC como si fueran tan importantes. Los NPC de un espadazo de los piteáis. Pero bueno, no importa.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
Puede que hay gente que no le haya caso lo que ha dicho Nadia, pero no te preocupes, estoy aquí.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Puede que estés cargando con demasiado, ¿no lo crees? Debes relajarte.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look, there seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Muy bien, yo me haré cargo.
Probably time we made a move. How
¿Segura?
about we check out Spina di Rosula ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
De acuerdo. Por aquí se subía, ¿no? Sí. Ok, ¿listo?
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy...
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them.
They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing your duty.
No seas tan dura contigo misma. Tú no tenías conocimiento de tus poderes, ni de tu alter ego que era Focalors. No tienes que culparte.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Mira la libertad como una recompensa. Focalors así lo quiso. Acepta tu libertad.
Reward?
Ya no tienes que estar sufriendo en soledad. Ahora tienes gente que confía en ti.
I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
¿Te sientes mejor ahora que soltaste todo?
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. At least the choice is in my hand. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back.
Claro que sí. ¡En marcha!
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Compartan.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's you. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willing.
Oh no, looks like they're arguing again.
Parece que tendré que intervenir de nuevo, ¿no? Permítame.
We're back. Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
You're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines, too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness.
Wait, that sounds kind of...
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troop. It was only after she was gone that...
You mentioned earlier that the troop is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found... I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness. It was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice. She took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my...
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troop and the people. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away.
Let me guess.
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I was somewhere...
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troop and your wonderful director.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script.
Okay.
I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, the people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years...
Consciousness? You mean...
Water as a conscious entity.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity. Her lover accepts her for who she is and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover. And...
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain?
well, she mainly wanted to save her lover. Plus...
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love. One that extended...
There's actually something else. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should... What about if... the little Oceanid is how...
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me.
Uh-huh.
And perhaps a little
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the... We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found.
The director was the kindest soul in the world, yet she was senselessly...
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen?
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing.
Vilma? The one who's playing the...
Yeah, he's been overwhelmed by grief.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, because... Well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aureli.
What?
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. I did tell her how I felt once. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own life, well, maybe then she... And now... So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right.
In that case, We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on...
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go
Nos
visit.
haremos
Ready
cargo.
to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. Funny you should ask, though.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone.
Ok. Continuamos. ¿Cuánto llevamos ya? 24 minutos. Vamos a ver al random de mierda este. Como dije, quiero terminar esta misión en un solo día. Así que continuamos. Este ya es el cierre. Además que son 60 protos. Así que quiero esas protos. Bueno, hay un cofre ahí. Y bueno, vamos a seguir.
This is tough going.
Ok. Hay un cofre grande, ¿eh?
As if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Los LAN ahí formando parte del lore, ¿no?
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour.
No te preocupes, con el patriarca por aquí no tenemos ni que preocuparnos.
Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnity.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon any. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
Sí, sí, te protegeré, descuida.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
¿Qué le vamos a hacer?
Lovey indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
Eres un...
Aw, too bad.
Sorry to leave all the heavy...
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Ay, señor. Ah, se quieren poner choro. ¡Ah, concha lora! ¡No! ¡Ah! Desgraciados de mierda. Tenía unas ganas de pelear con algo hace rato, desde el capítulo de ayer que no peleamos con nada. Así que por mucho que sea un slime penca, como que estoy contento, la verdad. ¿Lo puedo pegar con este ya? ¿No es cierto? Sí. ¡A la madre! Ok, ya basta. Terminó con esto de una vez ya. Demasiado huevo. A tomar por culo.
So, you certainly live up to your reputation.
Ok, ¿esa pelea era obligatoria?
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
¿Listo? ¿Qué? ¿Qué coño? Ok, ¿qué acaba de pasar aquí? Ok, estoy inmune. Esto también. Ok, no puedo atacar con agua. Vale. Estoy obligado a usar a... Ya que, weón. Un cofre, ¿ah?
Take them. I have no need.
Ah, y esto está en los portales, ¿no? A ver. ¡Carajo! Ok. Toca hacerlo desde el primero. Ya, desde acá. Conchalo, no te hay que caer ahora. Y listo, tenemos cofrecito. Bueno, esto es todo más fácil.
If it doesn't ruin a drink, it is a treasure.
Bien. 2 caminos listos. Vamos a empezar a desbloquear el tiro este cofre. Porque ya que estamos acá, no soy de los que les gusta dejar los cofres ahí abandonados, sin dueño que los reclame, la verdad. Además que, como dije, tenía una gana de pelear desde ayer. ¡Cónchale! What? What? Ajá. Ya no hay más, ¿verdad? ¡Concha la lora! Uf.
So glittery. Must control urge to pounce.
¡Ajá! Ya tenemos el cofrecito. Y así es como se bloquea el cofre, panas. Bueno, 10 protos más. Se agradecen siempre. Ok, sigamos con el objetivo, ¿verdad? El objetivo está para acá. Ay, tengo el arquetipo del evento. Dejen ponerme lo que tengo que poner. Ahora sí. Para comer un poquito ahí, para no estar tan mal.
Vilma! Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina?
I can explain.
Ok, le explican todo a
So,
Vilmant.
You think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone. I care just as much as if I open this can of worms now. Vilma, unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something... I don't want to talk about it. Listen, Vilma. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never... But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on... The little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do just... This is why people think of you as not being... As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from... We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, it seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. The drink in question was...
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial
Mar
disappearances
Primigenio.
case?
Era muy nociva para la salud.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, the merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for... I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue, but things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah,
Ahora entiendo todo
I
esto.
got Aurelie killed.
Hey, don't...
You traitor! What do you mean? You were afraid? This was a life and death situation. How could you be so Please, try not to get too worked.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to stay calm.
¿En serio tendré que intervenir?
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my... And he has the gall to try and high road us. claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show.
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back in my life. So I can meet...
Get out of my sight. Go.
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you.
Uy, se enojó.
Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. I understand why you're...
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too... What are you laughing at?
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that... For a moment there, if she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like...
Really? But she sounded like
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness.
I'm truly sorry.
It's all right.
So...
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really... The end of the story needs to focus back on O'Reilly herself. She's the true star of the show.
Hay que aprender más de ella.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered... If you could find anything that O'Reilly left behind...
You really think...
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based...
No.
Well, we'll...
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia.
Ok. Esto me llevará para allá, ¿o no? Bueno, supuestamente aquí debería haber todo un hidróculo o algo. ¡Eh! No quiero pelear ahora, pero creo que es un cofre grande, ¿no? Sí, lo voy a dejar fijado en el mapa. Aquí está. Cofre... supongo que... Grande lo bueno, no... Porque no sé... Ese si es lujoso, qué mierda es. Bueno, después vendré por él. Ahora hay que centrarnos en el lore. Si veo que faltan 10 protogemas o algo así, lo vengo a buscar. Porque si mi memoria no me falla, estaba muy cerca de la multi ya. Y creo que está la número 7 ya. Así que ya tendría PT Up, en teoría, ¿no? Pero bueno, continuamos. Mira, estamos llegando a la hora ya de video ya. Significa que estamos cerca de terminarla porque normalmente las legendarias duran 1 hora y media aproximadamente. Eso es lo que dura una legendaria, más o menos. Así que vamos a ver acá. A diferencia de la de Neuvillette, a pesar de que esta ha sido puro diálogo, ha sido mucho mejor llevada. Ya que la de Neuvillette, aparte que era una historia no muy interesante al lado de esta. Porque esta es como una redención de Furina. La de Neuvillette era como más de su pasado y mezclar a las melucinas. Creo que eso fue lo que cagó un poquito el lore. Y aparte que la de Neuvillette, como Neuvillette no se expresaba también como Furina, por el tema de que Neuvillette era como neutral, ¿no? Como que no tenía emociones. También sentía un poquito plana la misión. En cambio Furina es más emocional que Neuvillette. Entonces como que se siente un poquito más el desarrollo del personaje. Creo que a Neuvillette le faltó un poquito de desafío, unas peleitas o un puzzle de mierda para haberme hecho rabiar o algo así. Y lo he encontrado mucho mejor. Aquí, como les dije, si bien no ha habido puzzle y nada de eso, tuve la cueva de que me encontré cofres y cosas entre la misión para darle un poquito más de dinamismo, ¿no? Creo que también va por ese lado también. Pero creo que Genshin tiene que hacer un poquito de pelea, un poquito de puzzle, un poquito de interacción en las legendarias como solía ser en antaño. Porque si son puro texto, la gente se va a aburrir.
Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place.
Ok, veamos.
So, this is all O'Reilly left behind.
Hey! It's full of script lines!
Let me take a look. Aha! Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even, if we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence.
Lachey took so many lives.
I guess O'Reilly must have written all of this down in the hope that her... wait! Her
¿Pasa algo?
handwriting here gets patchier, and her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourself.
¿Mm?
She was so terrified.
Espero su muerte en silencio. Era una persona muy fuerte.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must... wait. If you become human, you can reveal your...
Isn't that the most important line in...
Because I am an old...
Oh!
So she didn't regret her decision. I'm sure this is what the troop would have... She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love. Let's go.
You have to think before you act.
Oh, shut up. No es que estoy haciendo lore, mierda. Una locura esto. Tengo que admitir lo que me estoy diciendo en la última legendaria. Como les dije, después del lore principal van a ir las 4 legendarias seguidas. Linnea, Rayo Tesli, Nebulet y esta es la última. Después seguirían las citas que he grabado un par ya. Que grabé ya la de Sayu. Y la de si no me equivoco, la otra la de Charlotte. No, no la de Charlotte. ¿Cuál es la otra? Deja acordarme. Que he hecho 2. Farusan. Farusan y Sayu. Esas van a ir después. Así que bueno, vamos a continuar con esto. Bien, a la casita. Y creo que con esto ya tendríamos el lore listo, ¿no? Ok. A ver.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience that
Even in the last moments of her life.
She did her best to protect us. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have... Well, Vilmont?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus.
I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen...
Don't underestimate my experience. After watching a countless number of musicals, I've learned one important thing. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role. And aren't human emotions love? I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to...
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need...
Actually, before that, I'd like to make a during the curtain call. Please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. Besides, a role commemorating...
Well, if you're sure...
Now we're talking like a serious acting... Alright, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean the Opera Epiclese.
Whoa, wait, what?
No. That's never going to work.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that...
No,
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Aquí era lo grande, créanme ustedes mismos.
I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me. Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette. I know just where to find him.
Muy bien, vamos con mi versión acuática. Let's go. Hay que salir. La cosa va bien, ¿eh? La cosa promete. Tengo que admitir que el lore... me encanta el lore de los personajes, o sea, de algunos. Hay algunos que están tan bien hechos y otros que están hechos como con tanta veganada. Porque me acuerdo mucho que la gente en Inazuma se quejó con la legendaria de Ayato, que fue muy parecida a la Nebire, que comprometía mucho y fue como nada, o sea. Y hay otras como la de Shogun, las dos que tuvo, la de Yaemiko por ejemplo, y ahora la de Furina, como que dan esa sensación de como le metimos más cariño a esta. Muy bien. Y por acá creo que la cosa va bien, ¿no? Ay, cochado ahora. Ajá, tengo que subir. No diré nada del TP. No me voy a putear ya más. Ya ayer me puteé lo suficiente, pero lo voy a decir una última vez. ¡Tengo que ver los TP, carajo!
Hey, look at that. Looks like I guessed right.
You were just guessing?
Muy bien. Charla entre dos caballeros rivales. Toshiro Adulti y Danker de agua.
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
Solo me relajo un poco. Hace tiempo no te veo, querida. Y a usted tampoco. ¿Qué les trae por aquí?
I would like to book the Opera Epiclese for an event.
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epiclese is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly
Bien, ya que lo mismo ustedes se la pondremos
The
facilita.
story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing it
Suena
performed
muy
on
interesante.
stage.
Sueño con ansias el día de la presentación.
I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all
No
that has
esperaba
happened.
que reviviera la pasión por la actuación después de lo que ocurrió.
What do you mean?
Yes, and this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
Sí, es la primera vez que te veo desde que dejaste tu puerto de arconte.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But in the past, We sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom. But I've developed a great sense of curiosity.
I'm truly delighted to see you find
Me alegro mucho que te hayas podido recuperar,
Now that
querida.
you've regained some confidence, have you had
Ahora
any
que has
thoughts
recobrado
regarding
confianza,
return
¿tienes
to
pensado
the
volver al
stage?
escenario?
Why would you suddenly have...
Well, if the little Ocean
Si la
turns out
pequeña
to be a
Océano
great
resulta ser un
success,
éxito,
it will
se
no
convertirá en
doubt
una obra
become a classic.
clásica.
Many theater companies are
Y otras
certain to
compañías
add it to their
teatrales
repertoire.
no tardarán en añadirla a su
The
repertorio.
experiences and decisions of the protagonist Cleo are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited
La obra
to
te
play the
tiene
leading role.
a ti como base. Creo que tú eres la más adecuada para ese papel.
It would truly be a shame if you did not
Sería una
take
pena
this
si pudieras la
opportunity to allow
oportunidad
audiences
para
to
que el público
enjoy
pueda
your
disfrutar una vez más de tu
outstanding
talento a la
acting
actuación.
talents.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine act. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned I must admit, though, I'm a little envious.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy.
Así que estás disfrutando de tu nuevo escenario. Me tranquilizo oír eso, querida.
I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Muy bien, lo seguiré con la documentación.
You are very well.
Bien, ya estamos listos. Bien, ahora tenemos que dar el último diálogo. Y ya. Está bien, pues ya me da baja la verdad. Me suena mejor que...
Good news, everyone. It's done. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story. Now, let's work together.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamon and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things. I think it's really going to...
Wow, you two had a constructive...
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Look at us. We've come so far.
It's amazing. Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama
Estoy
queen
deseando
about it
ver el
all,
desenlace de
she's
todo
really
esto y cómo
fired
resulta.
everyone up.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have.
Hey, Loic, get over here.
¡Qué bonita la imagen! Muy buen detalle, ¿eh? ¿Ven a lo que me refiero? En esta se esforzaron hasta en este tipo de cosas.
Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never...
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. If only...
What should we do?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage and... Oh no, not again.
They've been getting less and less of...
What? I thought they...
I figured...
How could you do this to yourself?
I'm sorry.
You...
Miss Furina?
Say no more. If you're sick, you need to rest. I know what you're going
Estás
to
enferma.
ask.
Descansa. Sé lo que pedirás.
Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one.
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale. From the sublime to the ridiculous.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting into... No one likes regrets. Myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo's part by heart.
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one. What, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo...
It's her pure heart, despite all the pain and loneliness she had.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in...
Is she here yet?
Will she get here?
She's not coming.
You're wrong. She's here.
Si je pouvais vivre dans l'eau, le monde serait-il plus beau? Me pardonneras-tu, ô chère mère? L'eau dans son courant fait danser nos vies, et la cité elle nourrit, ainsi que toi, mon doux amour.
But what about your wish?
My wish...
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Le grand amour ne suffit pas, seul un adieu fleurira. C'est notre histoire de vie, douce et amère. Je serai toujours là, à voir le monde et sa beauté, et ça ne changera jamais, jamais.
Increíble, loco. Muy buena presentación, ¿eh? Siento que en esta se esforzaron demasiado. Le metieron ganas, ¿eh? No hubo pelea, pero le metieron ganas. Se notó.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now? She hasn't been seen for a while now. Gotta say, though, her acting skills are...
The little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. I don't know. Maybe it's just...
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Oh, it's too bad that I had to break the one clear... Still, I have to admit that it felt good to...
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator, Miss Furina.
Hey, that's not what we agreed on.
Oh, so it was Furina after all. She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing?
All right, calm down. Don't be mad. This was a group after all. It's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that
Yes, I know the rule, but
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
Como mucho te pedirán tu autógrafo.
oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? Hyma flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop fish.
Oh, that... I've got no idea. I'll bet the audience has never seen such a
Wait, what about Dolphy?
Oh, let's go check on her as soon as we finish.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely... If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished...
Ya. Vamos a ver los que faltan. Qué buena misión, de verdad. Sé que hay... que al igual que Nivelé fue puro diálogo, pero la trama fue interesante. Lo que más me interesó fue el desarrollo de Furina, de cómo está cambiando de ser una arconte a ser una simple humana. Cómo está llevando las cosas. Tuvo contexto. Siento que la Nivelet no le dieron eso. Y eso que Nivelet es mi personaje favorito, pero como digo, se podrían haber esforzado más la de Nivelet. Espero que si le hacen una segunda legendaria le haga justicia, de verdad. Porque se lo merece. Tengo que tener TP, ¿no? Bueno, hay una misión de mundo ahí. La voy a dejar para después. Las misiones de mundo siempre las hago fuera de cámara. Ahora ya las misiones de mundo yo no las hago en cámara. Porque no me benefician al lore. Y además que hay muchos youtubers que te dan tutoriales de cómo hacerlas y eso. Y tampoco como que ya me motiva mucho hacer las misiones de mundo. Como que me aburren esas misiones. Son para sacar las plotillas. O sea. En cambio estas sí me encantan. Estas sí me gusta hacerlas. Me divierten. Ya creo que con esto ya estamos, ¿no? Creo que con esto ya la misión está lista, ¿no? La presentación salió. Mira, 1 hora y media va a quedar esta.
You're back.
Ajá.
She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication.
How did the performance go?
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic. Also, you're not gonna believe what happened.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it.
Don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance.
Well, I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to...
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself...
Oh, don't you start.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot of...
I don't know what you're talking...
You mean we never stop arguing?
Ay, señor. ¿Es en serio?
Any plans? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation you could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the little Oceanit to the bigger theater troops out there.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's after all that's happened. I should give you guys some space.
Hey, don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our directors and
You should do it. It suits you.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. What about you, Miss Furina?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests. You rather sealed my fate there with your special thanks at the...
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me after all.
Solo haz lo que te guste y te haga feliz. Así de sencillo, querida.
Yeah. There was once a time when... But from now on, I want to watch them blossom and wither. See, I'm sure this is what...
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
La próxima vez me acompañarás, ¿de acuerdo?
If a vision is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best.
Y así ha concluido el lore. Y bueno, para conmemorar los que se quedan hasta acá, vamos a dejar las dos waifus juntas, las dos importantes de la serie. De hecho, voy a aprovechar de hacer un screenshot de acá, del dragotipo. ¿Dónde está? Ahí después la recorte y ya. Ok. Ven, algo que nos trae. Vamos a tirar. ¿Ya? Quedan 10 días, así que tiremos. ¡Let's go! Bueno, tirada número 70. A ver qué sale. Bidou C6. Oye, oye, oye. Oye, oye, oye. Bidou C6. Me alegra. De verdad, me alegra mucho. Vamos a comprar este destino entrelazado. ¿Cuánto me pide? 1440 me va a pedir esta. Ok, y esta ya sería la número 8, ¿verdad? Si no me equivoco tenía 14 páginas. Y hay que sumarle la que vamos a quitar, ¿no? A ver. Vamos a ver. Sí. Creo que no ha cargado la otra, ¿eh? Creo que no ha cargado la otra porque no me ha cargado la multi todavía. Pero bueno, entonces estaríamos acá. Serían 15 páginas porque no me ha cargado la multi que acaba de salir recién. Es la multi número 8 ya. Sí o sí en la siguiente ya debería salirme ya el 5 estrellas. Seguramente. Ahora está a todo esto video. Y listo. Tenemos a Bidou C6. Fino, señores. Fino, señores. La voy a armar a futuro. Creo que es mi primer personaje C6, la verdad, creo. A ver. Vamos a ir revisando. Creo que es mi primer C6 de todo el juego. C5. Sí, Bidou es mi primer C6 de todos los juegos. Tengo que admitir que me parece increíble que Bidou sea mi primer 5 estrellas de todos los juegos. Creo que Bidou es física, así que veré si le puedo dar algo más o alguna espada y por ahí que tenga. Voy a ver cómo se arma, pero a Bidou la vamos a armar, ¿eh? A Bidou hay que armarla, hay que darle su reconocimiento porque al ser el primer C6 se merece cariño. Así que creo que con esto ya quedó perfectamente. Bueno. Nos vamos a ir, Ahí están las dos waifus que eran. Perfecto. Y ahora sí. No me podía aguantar porque había que aprovechar el bug porque... bueno, vamos a decir la cosa. Vamos a seguir farmeando fuera de cámara. Como les digo, ya tocaría la multi número 8, sí o sí. Así que seguramente va a tocar ahí el 5 estrellas. Y si quedan 10 días, aún hay oportunidad. Hay que darlo todo. Así que espero poder sacar todo y farmear y seguir dándolo todo, no más. Con esto sacan las legendarias. Lo más seguro es que, como les digo, voy a seguir invirtiendo mi tiempo. Como pueden ver ahora, tenemos Ningguang. Tenemos todas estas para hacer. Ahí tenemos bastante protos para la siguiente multi. Y además de las misiones del mundo que hay desbloqueando, cofres y todo eso. Sin mencionar el evento de turno. Así que voy a hacer todo lo posible para tener la multi lo antes posible. Así que nada más, lo vamos a dejar aquí. Espero que les haya gustado el video. Si es así, por el del por me gusta, la buena suscripción, comenten lo que quieran. Suscribirse que no cuesta nada. Y nos vemos en el siguiente video. Aprovechando, voy a decir que voy a empezar a subir, terminar de subir el lore, porque creo que ya estamos en los capítulos finales ya en el lore, subiéndolos. Y después tocaría esto, así que espero que disfruten todo esto, les guste y que la pasen bien con todo esto. Así que lo dejamos hasta aquí. Gracias por ver. Bye bye.